what's up, Bridge players? This is Rob from LearnBridge.nyc, and these are our results from our most recent online Pro-Am tournament. This is the tournament we play on BridgeBase every week on Fridays and Saturdays. If you want to get in on the action, just go to LearnBridge.nyc. That's www.learnbridge.nyc in your browser, and it'll bring you right to the front page that'll have a link to this weekly Pro-Am tournament. So let's jump into last week's hands. These were our April 20th and 21st hands, last Friday and Saturday. And we see that the first deal gets us to a slam hand. We should be playing six spades on board number one. And the difference of opinion between the pros on this hand was whether or not to open one spade or two clubs. Both are very reasonable opening bids with hands like this. Those of you that are counting the points in South and saying, hey, I don't have 22, how can I open two clubs? I want you to remember that that two club opening bid is strong. It is usually 22 plus high card points, but it can be just a very strong trick taking hand that's within about one or one and a half tricks of the game level itself. And that's what we're looking at with this South hand. It's a very strong two suited hand. You'll see half of the pros opening one spade and the other half opening two clubs, and pretty much the same with the amateurs as well. So we had a good mix of opening bids, and if you do open one of those, you're going to have a pretty easy pathway to slam. And if you open one spade, you have to notice that partner's two club bid is highlighted in red. It has this square red bracket around it, which means it's not natural. It's something that the robot plays with their system. And unfortunately, in these tournaments, you have to play what the robot plays. But the best part is, you mouse over that bid, or if you're on a phone, you just touch it, and it'll tell you exactly what it's supposed to mean. And it's just a spade raise. It shows three or more spades and a hand that obviously couldn't have opened because they passed originally, but around like a good 9 to a bad 11. And partner certainly has that covered. And after you see that, a lot of people just jump to six spades. I bid key card, and even though my partner showed one key card, I did ask for the queen just to show it to you. I was probably going to bid six spades no matter what my partner did next. But that's what this five heart bid is here. After we bid key card, which was 4 no trump here, and we know spades is our trump suit. When we see a five club or five diamond response, we haven't heard about the queen. Right? If partner bid five hearts or five spades, we automatically know whether they have or do not have the queen. However, in this spot, the five diamond bid, we still don't know what's going on with that card. Even though our hand is such a moose as far as trick taking potential, we're probably going to bid six anyway and hope partner just has enough spades. We can confirm that they have the queen by just asking the question, which is the next available bid. So over a five club response to 4 no trump, five diamonds would be asking for the queen. And over a five diamond response to 4 no trump, five hearts asks for the queen. As long as this bid that we're making here is not the trump suit, it will ask for the queen. And partner confirms that they have the queen of hearts and the king of diamonds. That's what that six diamond bid means. If partner did not have the queen of trump, they would bid five spades. So we should all be playing six, and you'll see everybody doing it a little differently, opening two clubs, maybe jumping to six spades at some point. If you did not get to slam, you probably missed what the two club bid was, or we just maybe lost our nerve when we got up to the four or five level. But this is a very strong hand, and you certainly are only going to lose the ace of hearts and take the rest of the tricks in this contract. Board two should have seen the contract as three diamonds. And it's because we have a normal one no trump overcall after our right hand opponent opens this hand one heart. This is 18 points. It's a good 18 too. But our no trump overcalls max out at that number. It's not 15 to 17 anymore when we overcall. We open this range up a little bit to give us more flexibility to show these types of hands. So we could certainly have 18, which is exactly what we have. And in these situations, when you see an opening bid to your right and you have 18, it's pretty reasonable to assume that partner has very little. So we don't need to get ridiculously excited here and think about your other options. You could double, but now you're forced to bid a no trump again anyway. Now you're just showing an even stronger hand, right? When you may be playing from only one side of the table, which is here, You probably want to be a little careful and just make your bid that is within the range, right? 15 to 18 balanced. You certainly have good stoppers and hearts. And if you do this, partner will jump to three clubs, which again has a red bracket around it. Take a look, and it says it's a minor transfer. I want you to bid three diamonds. And if you do that, you'll play three diamonds. And you should just be making three on this hand. And if you did not make three, or if you didn't overcall a no trump, and some of you got to 3-0, which you can see is a disaster on this hand, right? We're not going to have any source of tricks, and we have no entry to that dummy, which has all those nice diamonds. So diamonds was the best spot to play in, and if you did that, you did well on this board. Board three, you're looking at the most normal result on this hand. You open a club with the south cards, and your left hand opponent bids three diamonds, which is just a preemptive bid. It's going to show seven or more diamonds in just a relatively weak hand. They're almost a little too strong for it here, but they chose to just jump to three diamonds. For some reason, the north hand decides to pass with their 6-5 spades and hearts. So it's interesting. They might have made a negative double here to show the majors, but they chose not to do that. And when that happens and it comes back to you, you're supposed to pass like Joe did here. Don't look at what I did. I actually made the horrific choice of bidding with this hand, and you'll notice those of you down here with me on the bottom, if you bid again with the south hand, you're going to play slam. Your partner's just going to bid six clubs. So that does not end well, I promise. And it's a good disciplined pass here. You have a relative minimum hand, and your partner did not take a call over three diamonds. So making a call here is going to show obviously a much stronger hand than you have, and is going to excite partner to a great degree, and it's going to be unfortunate. So passing three diamonds is normal. You'll see a pocket of pros up here at the top. They all, or most all of them, chose to open one no trump with this hand. And I don't want you to get confused and think this is normal, but what they are thinking is tricks. And that's what you see John and Sandra and Raluca and Brad doing here. They see ace king 10 9 6 of clubs. And they know that is very frequently going to be a good source of tricks for their side, especially if partner has, something like they are looking at in this hand, like queen small or jack third, something like that, or even just four small clubs. Right, they rate to take a lot of these tricks. So it is certainly not close to a 15 to 17 point hand, and it's not something I think they would do normally anyway, especially in a real tournament. But in these robot tournaments, knowing that the opponents also cannot have huge hands, right? There's no spot here that they can have more than we do. So when these guys, these pros, are looking at this 12-point hand, they kind of know partner has to have some stuff too, right? They know that partner can't be totally broke because I mean one of the opponents has more than the 12 points that we see here, which we know is impossible. So that's why you see these kind of tactical bids in some of these spots with very good sources of tricks and maybe less values than you would see normally. And we'll see maybe a little better version of the one no trump opening bid later in the tournament with another six card minor, but just be aware that this is not necessarily a real bridge situation because we have a little more information knowing that we have the best hand at the table. And these guys play the cards so well that armed with a really good six card suit and some deceptive pieces about their shape, they rate to do quite well. And as you see, they did here. So we're going to sit with Radu on board number four. He opened just the same thing the rest of us opened with this hand. We opened 2-0. Our partner bids Stayman. We show our four card spade suit, and they bid four spades. Now the play is tricky here, and you'll see the top pros played this hand very well. They set up their heart suit and kept enough entries to the dummy to be able to do that, to take their 10 tricks. And we see we all should get the same lead here. The West player leads the 9 of hearts, and it goes queen to our ace. And here's where all the pros are just playing a low spade from their hand towards the queen, or most of them anyway. And this is because this is not that type of finesse we can play the queen from dummy and realize all the tricks. And it's because we're lacking the 10 and the 9. So when we're missing king 10 9, we're almost always guaranteed to lose a trick there. Right? We just can't avoid it. So in these situations, we just lose that trick early and maintain a reasonable amount of control. So we see Radu leading a low spade to the jack. It loses to the king. And now they return a club, which he wins. Here's where we need to be a little careful. So he plays the ace of spades. That's step one. He sees that spades are dividing evenly. In order to set up the heart suit, though, he knows he has to lose at least one heart trick and then get to the dummy once to trump a heart and then get back to dummy to take the hearts. So if we draw a trump here, if we play a low spade to the queen, we're not going to have the ability to accomplish our goal of setting up hearts. So here's where Radu plays the jack of hearts. Right hand opponent wins with the king. Now, if we're in a situation where West has the spade, right, they're going to get a rough here. We saw them lead the nine and then play low, but that's why we drew two rounds of trump to begin with. If they only started with two spades, that rough is gone now. And that's exactly what's happened here. They now return a club, which Ryder wins with the king, and he uses one entry to dummy, and he gets to draw trump by using that. And remember, Radu saw lefty lead the 9 and then follow it with a low card in hearts. So he should know that the East player has the 10 left and a low heart. So we are taking a roughing finesse here. That's exactly what he did. He led the 8 and they covered. But if they had played low, if he leads the 8 and right hand opponent plays the 5 instead, right, he intends to pitch a club or a diamond, whichever he chooses. Right? But when they play the 10, there's no longer any need to worry. They cover it, which means the 7 and the 6 are good. Now, you might think he's going to trump a club and then run hearts and that's it, but you should see a problem with that. If he trumps a club right now and he plays two rounds of hearts, our West player is going to come down to the last two cards of the Ace of Diamonds and the Queen of Clubs. So he can't quite run his tricks yet. He has to set up one more before he gets over to that dummy, and that's what he does here. He plays the King of Diamonds. He takes his last loser, and now dummy's good. Right? We have the Queen of Diamonds in our hand, so all four of those cards in dummy are tricks, and we just made four spades. John Hurd played this the exact same way, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the people in four spades played very well. So congratulations if you were in four spades making four. You got 94.2%. What a well played hand. I think I went down two, so don't look at my results on this board. But now I know the error of my ways, having watched these top pros take care of this contract. Good job, guys. So this is another one of those weird situations where you see a lot of the pros opening one no trump. Again, a little bit better of a hand than we saw last time. We have 14, and our singleton is obviously not great, but it is the ace, so it is certainly not an illegal bid. If you do it with a small singleton, it becomes a little bit bordering on not legal anymore in real bridge. So this is a little off shape. The diamond suit is excellent. The spot cards and diamonds are very good. That's a plus in this situation. And if you opened a no trump, you got to play three no trump, and you made either 10 tricks, some people made 11, and others went down a few tricks. The key to this hand is recognizing that after they lead a heart, the club suit is not going to be able to be a source of tricks for us. And it's because we just will not have enough entries to that north hand to be able to realize extra tricks and clubs. If I play a low club to my ace, all right, I'm in an effort to set up clubs. Now I'll play a low heart to the king. I got back to dummy. And I can play the king of clubs and pitch away a card here, probably a spade. And now I can lead a low club, and if they split 3-3, all my clubs will be good. The problem is, what's left in dummy to get to that nice club suit? The answer is nothing that's going to take a trick. All right, so we can't set up clubs in dummy because we just don't have the entries to get there. But what we can do is set up diamonds in our hand. And that's what I did here. You can actually play a club to the ace and then cash the king of clubs before you do this as well to try to maximize your tricks. And that's what I forgot to do on this hand, but I'll show you how I got back to it afterwards. And all I'm trying to do is get rid of the high honors and diamonds so I can take the rest of the diamonds in my hand. And you get a nice piece of information right away. They play the jack when you play low, and you win the ace and you just lead a diamond. As soon as you get those two diamonds out, you'll have three tricks waiting in your hand. And you can see that they do your work for you. They play another diamond, and they exit with a heart, which you win in dummy. Now here's where I realized, hey, maybe I should have cashed my ace of clubs earlier, and now I can take the king and dummy. And it's one of those oops moments, but I found a way to kind of back into a reasonable solution here. So I took the ace of clubs, I played all my diamonds, and I'm just going to leave that king of clubs and dummy. That is a trick that I might be able to take. And now I just let a low spade. And my goal here is, and it might seem weird because I do have two tricks I can take to make my nine, but I really want to make 10 because I realize I I made a little bit of an error by not clearing that club suit out. So now, by leading a low spade, I kind of get the potential of an end play, and that's what's happening here. Uh, they win the queen with the west cards, and now if they lead a spade, I get two spade tricks, and if they lead a club, I get to win the king of clubs and pitch a spade. But they lead a spade, and I take the rest of the tricks. So if you had more of a traditional auction, you just ended up playing three clubs, and if you play it well, you get well above average, 62.8%. And the no Trump openers obviously did get to play a game, but that is certainly a game that could have gone badly as well. So this was one of those spots where you did gain a little bit of an edge if you open it off shape no Trump, but if you did not, you had still a very good opportunity for a well above average score. So you're looking at Joe Gru's auction on board number six, and you can see that he, along with almost every other pro, opened this hand one no Trump. This is a pretty normal upgrade for most of the pros. They have a very good 14. You're looking at 14 with Ace Jack 10 fifth of a suit and other reasonable intermediate cards. So this is a pretty solid upgrade to a one no Trump opener. And I know that I've seen a lot of you in the tournament in recent weeks upgrading your no trumps in some spots, and that's okay. Just make sure it looks like this. I would definitely not recommend doing it with Ace King 10 6 and a 12 count like we saw earlier. But this is certainly one that I would expect a lot of people to upgrade and just bid a no trump. Even if you don't bid a no trump, you're gonna find a spade fit on this hand, and you're gonna play four spades, or that's where you should be. We had a couple of interesting bits. Jack Hartog just dialed it right in, opened six no trump, and got a top because he just made 12 tricks on this hand. So well done, Jack. I'm not sure if you misclicked, but it was the best misclick of all time if you just misclicked six no trump and found yourself playing there. So congrats. And then John Hurd inexplicably passed with his hand originally and then got to six diamonds. So well done, John Hurd. Interesting. Interesting choice because really in these best hand tournaments it's frequently when you pass just gonna go all pass, right? Because especially when you pass a 14 count. So John not only passes with his 14 count, but then navigates his way to a slam that he makes. So congratulations to all you guys. But really, the most normal contract is four spades, and you'll see that the difference between the play is just how you play spades, like which way you guess this suit. Joe Gru won the opening lead and led a low spade, and if you do that, you'll see the ace of spades pop up on your left, and boom, you just guess the spade suit. They break evenly, and you're gonna take 12 tricks, right? You're gonna pitch this little heart up here. You're gonna pitch this on your good fifth diamond, right? Whichever one of these you're playing, you're gonna pitch that, and you're gonna take 12 tricks. And if you play the suit the way I played it, which was towards the queen, you just have to lose two spade tricks now. So it was whether you guessed spades or not as to whether you were getting 83% or so or 48%. The people that played 3 no took a gamble, and not surprisingly, it was relatives for sure, Brad and Shane. And you'll frequently see Brad, Shane, and Joe Gru doing a lot of the same things. It's like they're in a mind meld. But here they chose to stay in 3 no trump, kind of a match point choice, right? They have a nice side source of tricks, and they're gambling a little bit that partner has reasonable clubs, which they do on this hand. And if you guess spades correctly here, you're going to take 12 tricks as well. So I want to talk about the auction on board seven, and it's interesting because when we open a spade and our left-hand opponent overcalls two hearts and it goes pass pass back to us, I want to stress the importance of how frequently you want to double in this situation. It's almost always right if you plan to bid to double to reopen the auction. The times when it is not right are times exactly like these. And it's because of the number of hearts we have in the south position. The reason we're supposed to reopen with double in this south chair so frequently is because we want to protect those instances where partner has very good hearts and wants to play two hearts doubled. The only way they can get to that perfect spot is by passing and allowing us to reopen with double. But when we're sitting in that chair, we're in the balancing seat after opening the bidding, and we have four or more of their suit, the likelihood of partner ever wanting to play for penalty is almost none. Right? So we don't have to reopen with double in this situation. And it is perfectly normal to reopen this hand with two spades. You have a good six card suit. You know you don't have to double because of the fact that you have four good hearts in your hand. And if you just bid two spades, partner's going to raise to game. And you will play four spades on board number 7. And last but not least, board number 8 shows a good way to get to three spades. There were a lot of you playing four spades on this hand, and the reason you got too high was because over this three club bid, you chose to take a call, right? And you showed extra values by doing that. Your right hand opponent just bid at the three level. So when you are bidding three spades, you're saying, hey, not only did I open the bidding, you showed me six or more points, and I'm willing to go to the three level to support you. And a good way to kind of figure out whether you should bid or not in these spots after you've opened the bidding is kind of in your mind erase your right hand opponent's bid. Just get it out of there, right? So assume the auction went a club, a diamond, and your partner bid a spade, and assume your right hand opponent passed. What would three spades mean here? One club, one diamond, partner responds a spade, and we jump to three spades. It would clearly show extra values, which is why your three spade bid here would also show those extra values. So you don't have to bid for another reason, because if you look at this three club bid, and it should look weird, it's your suit. This is what's called a mixed raise. So in fact, this three club bid is a diamond raise. It shows four cards in the diamond suit and around like 7 to 9 points. So we should know that if we do choose to pass, which is the only right call here, our left-hand opponent is never going to pass. They're always going to go back to diamonds at whatever level is going to make the most sense for them. And when they do that, now comes the time where you can compete. After they bid three diamonds, it goes pass, and you can bid three spades now. And here's what partner has seen. They saw you pass originally, and now you're saying, hey, I have support for spades. This cannot be a good hand because they saw that you didn't bid three spades directly over three clubs. And that's the biggest win on this hand. If you get to three spades making three, the same nine tricks that all the four spade bidders are making, you're going to get 86% versus the 40% you get by bidding and getting too high. So remember that, guys. When you've opened the bidding, remember, everyone knows it, especially your partner. So when you just have these balanced minimum hands, you don't necessarily have to bid when the opponents take a call to your right. Good luck in the last tournament of the month, folks, and I will see you at the tables. Take care.